This is Core Conversations with Natalie Baggio.
Welcome to this episode of Core Conversations, and today I'm joined by Amy Knauf, our Women's Services and OB Director. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here this morning and for joining me on this episode to share with our community all the great things that are happening in our OB service line and women's service line. But first, I'd like the community to learn a little bit about you and your journey into nursing and leadership and how long you spent here in Southwest Michigan.
Yeah, sure. Well, I started in nursing at Southwestern Michigan College, and my first job was as a nurse tech in Niles in OB, and I've been there for 26 years. Been with Lakeland Corewell for 26 years. So I was born here I was born in North Carolina, but I came here and lived in Bering Springs my entire life, and that's where I grew up. So I'm very connected to the community. Mm-hmm. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm so proud to serve women specifically in our community. I have, a mother and two sisters and two daughters, and I really want, in this leadership role, I really want to advance our services for women in this community.
Well, we are really lucky to have you here and living in this community so you understand the importance of healthcare and keeping care local, and you're actually leading that charge. And we're very fortunate to have you doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
So how did you know when you wanted to become a nurse?
Well, I wasn't exactly sure I wanted to be a nurse. I thought I was going to go into sports medicine, but then I was in the same early classes with all the nursing students. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, maybe I should just be a nurse. And so then I just started my journey on the nursing courses. And I wouldn't say that I loved my first nursing courses, but then as I went through my program, and I fell in love with the service portion. Mm-hmm. And I think all of us as nurses, we are drawn to this profession because we want to serve. Yeah. And there's so many different aspects in nursing that we can serve, which that's what keeps me here. That's what keeps me going every day. And I really love this profession. I would not have changed it for anything. So,
well, that's really a great story. How many babies do you think you've helped deliver throughout your?
I have no clue. I have no clue. I wouldn't even be able to count. I think maybe just myself. Maybe I've delivered 10, possibly just myself, if they have come in very quickly and the doctor didn't get a chance to make it. But I would have no idea how many birth stories I've impacted over the last 26 years.
Not that long ago, I was rounding in the Niles unit, and some of the nurses were just finishing up with the delivery, and I could just really see how they felt so connected and excited. And I mean, being in women's services and OB, there's just a really special connection. I mean, you're bringing a life into the world, you're making a difference for the patients and their families, and it's a really special type of nursing practice and service in our community.
Yeah, and as a leader, I try really hard to help my staff focus on that portion right there. Mm-hmm. We can get really bogged down with all the technical pieces of our job, but we have such a unique job in that we are a part of so many birth stories. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's a lot of moms probably listening and, soon to be moms. And these birth stories are really something they are going to remember for the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. And we have a chance to impact that birth story. It's such a special, unique position.
Yeah. And as you think about how you're impacting those birth stories, innovation is part of that to ensure the absolute top quality care is being delivered. And we're doing a lot of new investments. And can you share one of the areas in which you're focusing on and helping lead the charge around innovation and care?
We have a really exciting construction project that's going to be starting in June at the St. Joe inpatient unit. We're going to renovate the entire unit. We're going to move towards an LDRP model, which means labor and delivery, postpartum and recovery, all in one room. Very family-centered experience. I'm really hoping that the people that are kind of thinking about doing a home birth, but maybe just don't feel like they're, maybe in a safe place. This is going to be a very home environment. There's going to be birthing tubs in each room, labor tubs, not birthing tubs. They're going to be labor tubs in each room. And the patient's going to stay there in that same room for the entire stay while they're in the hospital.
Yeah.
That model is really something that we're looking towards moving into Niles as well. So both facilities, Niles and St. Joe, will have the same model.
Yeah, I love that. And where all the rooms are standardized, the patient can deliver in those rooms and then recover in the rooms and convene with friends and family for that nice celebration. And the rooms are going to be serene. We know that, and studies have shown like part of that experience is the aesthetics and how we create an environment that feels comfortable and healing. And I'm really excited, and thank you for leading the efforts on that project. Other things that we're bringing in, I know right now you're focusing mainly on St. Joe around access to care, to make access more easy, and also to be able to provide care at a higher level of acuity. Would you share some of those things as well?
Yeah. Right now we have in St. Joe, our OBED is open.
Tell us a little bit more. What is an OBED and what does that mean for the community?
Yeah, an OBED is kind of like an emergency department that is specifically for OB patients, meaning if you're 14 weeks or higher, this would be somewhere that you would be coming for an obstetric emergency. Now, if you have a broken leg, we'll probably let you be seen in the main ED because that's their specialty. But this is something specific that we can take care of moms in this week's range, that they can get immediate care. They can be seen immediately by a physician, and their care can be started immediately. And we feel that this sort of access to care makes our community healthier because we want moms to seek care. We want, if they have any concerns about their pregnancy, their mom gut feeling is always something that we pay attention to because it's really important. So we just feel like it has increased our access for the emergency obstetric patients. Also, too, with the renovation, we are looking at moving towards a special care nursery, which is a nursery that will be able to keep more of our babies closer to home. This is a special care nursery that we can start our care at 32 weeks. So if babies are born a little bit premature at 32 weeks, we can keep them right here in St. Joe. That is going to impact our community in a great way. We do have, unfortunately, a lot of moms and babies that do have deliveries prior to 37 weeks, which is considered their due date. So this is going to really impact our care and allow people to not have to travel so far for care.
Yeah, keeping care close to home is really important, but ensuring it's high quality care as well. Yes. And the OBED is definitely something that you and the team have put together with the physicians to ensure that it's more seamless, where moms can walk in and be seen right away and be seen by the OB team. And that you have physicians on staff 24 hours a day in St. Joe. And that's great. So what do you see on the horizon for Niles?
I'm very excited to have the LDRP model that we spoke about that's going into St. Joe. I'm very excited to have that in Niles as well. It's a smaller unit, but the infrastructure really needs to be updated. So I think this is going to be it's going to kind of bring a facelift to Niles.
It's going to pull everything together.
Yeah. And at both sites, in Niles and St. Joe, I have a lot of really seasoned nurses that have really worked their entire career in OB at Lakeland Corwell. Yeah. And they're getting really excited about, the facelift and moving towards this new model. So it's really going to make a huge impact.
Yeah. And you've had many awards for both of your OB services in St. Joe and Niles. So you're delivering high quality care. But I really appreciate you and the team focusing on what's new, what's next. How do we continue to innovate? How do we continue to keep care closer to home? And how do we think about the next 10 and 20 years of what does our consumer want? What does our patient need? But also that nursing staff that you mentioned that have been doing this work for many, many years.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And we definitely need to keep recruiting brand new nurses that love women's health into this space because, there's so much to be learned from the more seasoned staff. And we really just want to continue this passion.
Well, I'm hopeful that our pipeline programs are continuing to help support and feed you with those new nurses. I actually know a nurse that went through our pipeline program that works day shift in Niles, and she speaks very highly of the experience and how much she's been able to learn in such a short period of time because of those tenured nurses that have dedicated their career and their practice to OB services and passing that along to the next generation.
Yeah, and I think our small community setting really facilitates that relationship. And when somebody stays at a hospital for 20, 30 years, that really speaks volumes to the type of services that we give.
Great. Is there anything that we didn't cover today that you think the community would be interested in hearing about?
I just want to speak to the moms that are possibly pregnant and kind of questioning, where am I going to receive care? Where do I want to go? I just encourage you to come in, see our unit, even though it's going to be in the construction phase soon. That's okay. Just feel the vibe that we have. Tell us what your birth story, what your wants and needs are, and meet the staff. And we just have such a robust community and of nurses that want and are able to serve at a very high level of care.
I love that. And that's a great way to close this out, that you're focusing on that personalized care. How do we make this a part of their story? And how does you and your team help them write that journey? So thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking.
Thank you for watching this episode of Core Conversations. We will see you next week.